Hello and welcome to Pancakes and PlayStation. It's January, which means you probably made a recent goal to get in shape for the year. But like many other beginners, you may be wondering, how do I even get started? Which exercises are going to be the best? What do I need to get? Do I need a gym membership? Do I need a bunch of fancy equipment? Or workout videos? What should I do? Today we will answer all those questions and more. A lot of people think that when they first start out, to lose tons of weight or to get in shape, you have to do a lot of cardio. That's just not true, folks. That's of course going to help your heart health, but it's not going to help you lose tons of weight by itself. That's why we have our resistance exercises, whether it's body weight, resistance band, or using full weights. You gotta get those muscular exercises in there. That's what's gonna kick that metabolism into gear. And plus, who doesn't want to be super strong? Today we're gonna go over some of the most important exercises that you need to know. These are gonna be your bread and butter, the foundation, and these are all exercises that you can do in your very own home. So if you can't afford a gym membership, or it's too far away, or you just don't have time, this is how you can get started today in your house. So let's talk a little bit about equipment. You really don't need much for what we're going to show you today. But the things that I would recommend getting are some resistance bands, a mat, a pull-up bar, and just a couple of little extras. Yoga blocks are nice to have around, a dowel or a broom, and if you can afford it, a few dumbbells. A gym membership is going to be most beneficial in the long run, but there's no reason you can't get started at home today with these bodyweight exercises. So let's get started. But first, here's a very special message from Susan Anton regarding heart rate.
It's wise to monitor your exertion level with the perceived exertion chart. Simply select the number on the scale that most accurately reflects how hard you feel you're working and adjust your exertion accordingly. For instance, if you're working above a 16 in the aerobic stage, or have difficulty breathing, or cannot talk comfortably at a conversational level, you should slow down. Likewise, if you perceive your exertion level to be lower than a 7 in the warm-up, you might work harder. Before you work out, take a moment to review the following precautions.
First of all, you will always want to warm up. We will go over this more in depth in another video, but for now, just know that you will mostly be mimicking the exercises you are going to do in your workout, only with lighter weight or an easier progression. You can also do a couple things to get your heart rate up, such as jumping jacks or marching in place. So let's take a look at our first exercise, the push-up. This is a great compound exercise for the chest, shoulders, triceps, and core muscles. To make sure you're keeping your back completely straight, tucking the pelvis under and squeezing those glutes, and pulling the belly in, keeping it tight. Don't worry if you can't do a push-up on your own yet. Most beginners can. For this, we will go ahead and elevate the hands to take some body weight off. We want to do this rather than go to the knees so we can still keep the core engaged. Core strength is a major component of these push-ups. So make sure you put your hands on something that can hold your whole body weight. A heavy piece of furniture, a wall, a desk. If you're still having trouble, get as vertical as you can. And then once those start to feel very easy, you can go down to a smaller incline. And eventually you'll be doing them on the ground just like the best of them. Our next exercise is the bench div. This is going to be another compound exercise that's going to hit the triceps, shoulders, and arms. So you want to put your hands on something that's very sturdy, about the height of a coffee table or a couch. To start, you'll have your knees bent at a 90-degree angle. You will lower yourself until your elbows are also at a 90-degree angle and push back up. And you want to get the full range of motion in this, which may be tough in the beginning if you have very tight shoulders. Once this starts to feel easy, you can straighten the legs and continue the same movement, getting those elbows to 90 degrees and then push back up. Up next on the upper body, we need to have a pulling exercise. Most beginners are also not able to do a full pull-up yet, but it is one of the best compound exercises. To substitute in the beginning, I recommend getting this pull-up bar because you can pull it down and then do rowing motions on it. That's going to take some of your body weight off so that you have less to lift. These pulling exercises are going to utilize the latissimus dorsi. Those are the two wing-like muscles spanning a lot of your back. A lot of beginners will neglect the back in exercising when they first start out because it's a muscle you can't see. It's not a vanity muscle, but it's one that you definitely need to strengthen, and it's really going to help you out in the long run. So let's go. You want to start pretty vertical, and then as you progress, you can go down to a smaller and smaller incline until your body is almost parallel with the floor. You can also use a resistance band over your pull-up bar or around a door to do both lat pull-downs and seated rows. These are also great pulling exercises and can help build up those muscles for those pull-ups one day. But more on pull-ups later. We'll do a whole in-depth program on that. Military press or overhead press. This is another good upper body pressing exercise in addition to the push-up. And once we get into the gym, the bench press. So you want to hold your hands in front of you, grab the handles of that resistance band, and lift up. You can also do them single arm at a time. Now we move on to the lower body, and we're going to come up on the most ubiquitous, probably one of the best exercises for your whole body. It's the squat. Many people do this exercise very wrong, and since you're a beginner, you want to go ahead and drill in good habits so you don't have to relearn it later. The biggest problem most people face with the squat is mobility. You want to be able to break parallel. Many people try to put too much weight on the bar and only squat a quarter of the way down. So we want to go ahead and make sure our squat is correct before we add any weight on any bars. We'll see how the back is kept straight using those core muscles. We break parallel and then come back up. If you are having trouble with your heels coming off the ground or not being able to hit parallel, that's going to be an Achilles tightness or a hamstring tightness, respectively. You can grab a dowel or a broom to put on your back as if you were doing back squats in the gym with a weighted barbell, just to practice that same movement before you get that weight on the bar. If you're having a lot of trouble with your squat, you can also do what's called a box squat. So grab a sturdy piece of furniture or a stool or a weight bench, stand in front of it, sit down, and then stand back up. Try not to let your knees go too far in front of your toes. You want to keep the weight in your heels. But this can be a wonderful modification if you're having a lot of trouble getting back up from those squats or working on form or getting to parallel. This is going to be a great all-around exercise. Trust me. Next up is the lunge. If you have enough room in your house or wherever you are exercising, you can do walking lunges. But here I'm going to show you step back lunges as we have a very small space. Biggest problem with these for the beginner is going to be balance. And that's something you're gonna have to gain, especially if you haven't done any sports in a long time or you sit a lot. So watch how the knee is directly above the toe. You do not want the knee in front of the toe or behind it. And watch as the other knee floats just an inch or two above the ground. You don't want to pound that bottom knee into the ground because, yeah, pain. And if you want to level it up a bit, once your balance gets really good, you can elevate your back foot and do what's called a split squat. It's basically going to be the same lunging movement with your back foot elevated, and it's going to put a lot more weight on the front leg, so it's almost like doing a single leg squat. These are totally killer, but they are wonderful. So once you work up to that and you get good at your lunges, go ahead and try them because they will rip up your quads. Our next variation on the squat is going to be the side squat or Cossack squat. But you want to start with your feet in a really wide stance, quite a bit wider than shoulder width. And you're going to bend one leg, come back up all the way, bend the other leg. You want to be able to get down to parallel or below. If in the beginning you can only do about a quarter squat, that's okay. Keep trying it and keep on working on your mobility. And eventually your side squat will look just like this. Now we're going to move on to some core exercises. I'm only going to show you a couple today, because these are going to be the best foundation core exercises for you. If you're interested in doing more, watch my core killer video. As I'm sure we've all seen planks. Seems like everybody's doing these in the gym, but are people doing them right? They are a really great exercise for you if you have proper form. What we want to do in this is just like the beginning of our push-up. We want to tuck the pelvis under, squeeze the glutes, therefore pulling the belly in, keeping it tight. You want to spread the shoulder blades out. And you want to keep that shoulder stacked right on top of the elbow. Basically, you want to have a shape that if someone came up and tried to knock you over, they wouldn't be able to. It needs to be that strong. And then once your elbow plank is really solid, you can move on to doing one on your hands. Go ahead and spread the fingers really wide so that you have a strong base to start from. Same thing, spread those shoulder blades wide. Gotta push away from the ground with your hands. Tuck the pelvis under, squeeze the belly. We don't want to see any booties in the air or saggy bellies, because that's just going to hurt your back. If your butt's in the air, you're not really doing anything. The next core exercise is going to be an easier progression to the reverse plank. This one's going to be called a tabletop. So you want your hands facing backwards, and if that puts too much pressure on your wrist, go ahead and turn them out to the side. You'll want to lift the hips up and rotate those shoulders back. Try to hold those hips up the entire time by squeezing the glutes. You don't want to have a saggy belly because then you're not really doing the exercise. Once you get pretty solid in these, you can straighten the legs and go to the full reverse plank. This core exercise is wonderful because in addition to working those core muscles and glutes, you're going to be working your arms too. You're definitely going to feel this one in your triceps, folks. Our last plank is going to be the side plank. We'll start with one on your elbows. On this one, you want to focus on keeping that shoulder stacked right above the elbow, pushing away from the ground, really squeezing to get that hip up. You can keep the feet stacked or put the top one right in front of the bottom one. Once you're feeling pretty solid in this and your hips aren't sagging, you can move on to the full side plank. So just like in our other plank, you want to spread your fingers wide, push away from the ground, and elevate those hips. Now here's the FAQ part of the video. How many reps and sets should we be doing of each of these exercises? I'd say start out with 3 sets of 8 of each one. And if that's too easy, try 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12. If that's too easy, 4 to 5 sets of 12 to 15. When that becomes easy, you can move on to a harder progression of the exercise or do the weighted variant. We'll go more into the weighted variants once we do our beginner gym session, so watch for that in a couple weeks. I hope this was helpful to you, little beefcakes in training. I hope that 2017 is your year to get super strong and Hulk smash all the things. If you have any questions, email me or leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the rest of the beginner series to be released over the course of this month. I'll see y'all next time.